to the Mousecast podcast. It's yet another Tuesday night, but tonight you determine our topics as you join us for open mic. This is where the mind meets the magic. We dive a little deeper every time. Theme parks, cruise ships, and travel. If you don't listen, maybe now it's time. Tonight on the show, we open up the door. Start with some news and chat, and viewers get the floor. So join us now for an amazing show as we begin to see what you can do for an open mic night of fun.
Hello and welcome to Mousecast, the podcast where the mind meets the magic. We have come to the second Tuesday of the month, and guess what? That means you, that's right, you get to talk about tonight's topics because it is open mic night, and what a better night for open mic night. Ladies and gentlemen, Hawk, the man, the myth, the legend is back. Hawk, we're thrilled to have you here. Welcome back to Mousecast.
I hope my internet works this evening because it seems like I'm kind of freezing out a little bit.
That's okay. It doesn't matter. It's all working great. Megan, how are you? Hope 2026 has had a great start.
Doing good. I am 12 sleeps, as I tell my children, away from boarding the Disney Magic, and we are in full prep mode over here. It's so great to have a vacation countdown.
Hey, Amy Driver is joining us tonight. Amy's new to Mousecast. Amy, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. She is from one of us in the Roanoke, Virginia area in Southwest Virginia. So, Amy, thanks so much for being with us. And you picked a great night to join us because it is open mic night. So you get to determine what we talk about. So as you're getting going and folks are joining us, pop into the chat, things that you want to talk about. First, thought we'd cover a little bit of news while you guys start thinking about joining us. Amy says, thanks for having me. Glad you're here. Couple of bits of news over at Animal Kingdom, and we mentioned this last week when we talked about our wrap of 2025. The dinosaur attraction at Animal Kingdom will be closing for good on February 2nd. Of course, this is part of the project to bring Tropical Americas to Animal Kingdom. Dinosaur will be rethemed and completely overhauled to an Indiana Jones style attraction, and we've talked at length about that in several previous shows, but that will happen. So if you're interested in getting one last run on Dinosaur, you need to do so by February the 2nd. Speaking of some refurbs over at Animal Kingdom, Expedition Everest is under refurb. Now, the good news is it does not look like this refurb thus far is actually impacting the attraction. It looks like it's in just the load, unload area. So the attraction itself is still running. We don't know how long that refurb may take. But at this point, it does not look like it's affecting operations, so that's good news for those of you who are interested and want to do Expedition Everest. Moving over to Epcot and another bit of refurbishment, and this is very common this time of year. We're into January and February post-marathon. This is kind of the downtime, as it were, at Walt Disney World. So you do see some of these minor refurbishments starting up. The refreshment port, and this is over near the beginning of World Showcase, has closed for a refurb. Apparently it started just yesterday. No real information as to exactly what they're going to do in the refurb. It could be that it's just some sprucing up and things like that. But that has happened over at the refreshment port. As we get more information, we'll post that on the Mousecast page. Good Morning America earlier, I guess it was technically last week, they posted a video highlighting some of the renovations at Walt Disney World, and I thought, you know what, let's have some fun, and we'll actually share that.
Walt Disney World Resort is bringing the thunder. When Big Thunder Mountain Railroad reopens this spring,
all new trains, audio animatronics refreshed throughout, effects, stuff that hasn't been going for years is returning.
The classic ride transporting you right into the mid-1800s.
You're gonna see these beautiful rainbow caverns, then all of a sudden comes to life as the mountain pushes back against you, and maybe finally seeing some gold out on the mountain for the first time ever as well.
At Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin, buckle up for new star cruisers, blasters, and scenes.
What is new here today is actually the scene that's right here behind me, and you see our alien friends opening that airlock so we can head out into space and start our battle with Emperor Zurg.
Thankfully, we won't have to face Zurg alone.
We're going to see Buzz Lightyear for the first time join you in that battle.
And at Animal Kingdom, it's time to raise the hoof.
Glasses on, everyone! Let's get wild! A zoo,
Following the phenomenon of Zootopia 2, Heidi Howler is joining the fun.
T-shirt! T-shirt! T-shirt!
At Zootopia, better Zoogether under the Tree of Life. And at Epcot, starting this Memorial Day, new scenic vistas come to Soarin' Across America in celebration of our nation's 250th birthday. Next door at Disney's Hollywood Studios, hold on tight for Rockin' Roller Coaster starring The Muppets beginning this summer. And speaking of summer, Cool Kids Summer is back and raising the bar. We met up with Jesse and Woody ahead of the new Jesse's Roundup.
2026 shaping up to be a bigger year than ever before at Walt Disney World, but I guess everything seems sort of big when you're a toy, huh?
2026 is looking up. No pixie dust required.
So there you go. So, actually, it was kind of interesting to see some of the bits that they were highlighting, especially like over at Buzz Lightyear. It really does. We thought it would look like Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters that's over at Disneyland, and looks like that's really coming to be the case. What do you guys think? Also interesting that Buzz is now going to actually get kind of involved in the projections. What did you guys think about that?
I think that's a nice touch, getting the characters a little bit more interactive there. So I think that's a good move for Disney. It's a small adjustment.
I think you'll be fine as long as you can still max out.
Yeah, I'm hoping you can still max out, and supposedly that they're going to make it so that you can get really, really big scores, because that's the one thing. If you've ever done Astro Blasters over at Disneyland, it can be challenging to hit the really, really big targets. So it will be interesting to see if they do make it a little bit similar to like the current, or now I guess past was, that you could max out and get your $9.99 and be a space ace.
We will have an entire episode
or Galactic Hero, sorry.
After it debuts, where Chuck complains or tells us all about how he was able to max out, or
that's
how
right.
Fair. We're going to dedicate an entire show to Chuck.
I want my max out back. That's right.
Of the reopen.
That's right. One other bit I wanted to talk about, and it's another interesting bit that's coming up. If you're a fan of Disney documentaries, over on Disney Plus, it's coming up on January the 22nd, will be Disneyland Handcrafted, and this is going to be a new documentary by Leslie Iwerks. She did some of the previous Imagineering documentaries that are currently on Disney Plus. And if you haven't seen them, go on to Disney Plus and check them out. They're actually really, really well done. But this is going to have apparently some brand new video and film that has been recently discovered that apparently has never been included in any sort of documentary before. So I'm kind of looking forward to this as well, to see what new Leslie Iwerks has. And then one last little bit that in the news department, I'm wearing my Run Disney shirt tonight specifically because the Walt Disney World Marathon was this last weekend. So congratulations to all the runners who were out there and completed the 5K, the 10K, the half, the full, the Goofy's race and a half, and of course, all of you nutballs like me in 2015 who did the Dopey Challenge, 48.6 miles of Run Disney madness. So hope you enjoy those medals, wear them with pride, display them with pride, and congratulations to all those runners. And if you're thinking about coast to coast, by the way, get over to Disneyland, because the Disneyland Half Marathon is January the 29th to February 1st. At least it's not back-to-back the way it was the last couple of years, that you had to literally get on a plane from right after the Orlando Marathon and head straight to Disneyland just to be able to get that coast to coast. So what do you think, Megan and Hawk? Ever think about lacing up for the Run Disney events?
Balloon lady. I want to be a balloon lady.
Does this look like the shape of a man who is in shape? It is not, I can assure you.
Well, the 5K, you can walk it. I mean, the 5K is fun.
If I was ever going to enter a 5K, 10K, half marathon, or full, it would be at Disney. Because if I'm going to run or walk or almost die, I'm going to be surrounded by castles and characters and at the most magical place on earth.
Absolutely. Hey, Caleb has just joined us. Caleb, thanks for being with us tonight. I will tell you that, and I've had a lot of people ask me about, doing running events. I've done several running events. And if you're going to start, Tom says, what kind of medal can you get for running a fever? That's the only running I would do. Yeah, Tom, I know. Okay, I'm with you there, buddy. And Amy Amy says she runs for Dole Whip, but she has done the Castaway 5K. Castaway 5K is fun to do over in Castaway Key. I've done that one before as well, so it is a lot of fun. But Amy, if you can do the Castaway 5K, that means you can do the Walt Disney World 5K, and really the 10K is only double a 5K. It's not that bad. You can do a 10K.
Tom and I are once again running on the same page.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you and Tom. So, but running Disney, if you're going to start and you're gonna even dip your toe into the running water, I really don't think there's any better place to do it than at Walt Disney World, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, it's in Florida, and that means Florida is flat.
That sounds great. You're really upselling the runs here, Chuck.
It's Florida is flat. We're going to ignore Hawk for a little bit here. Florida is flat, okay, where there is not a lot of elevation change or anything like that, with the exception, of course, of having to run over some overpasses or anything like that. And by the way, running is not just running. It could be a run-walk combo. It's okay. It could be a run-walk combo. Amy says, yeah, humid. Yeah, to some degree. But remember, they do this in January where the humidity is a little bit lower.
I live here. I mean, I understand this week it's been a little chilly here. Florida people are wearing their jackets. I'm still not. But, my blood hasn't thinned enough, I guess, from my, time in New England. But I will say there is no way. The humidity is still so dense all the time. You're not getting me up to... No way. I'd be sweating out glands I didn't even know existed.
Oh, that's a picture we didn't need. Thanks a bunch, Hawk. But I will to counter
I'm not
this.
going to photograph it. I'm just telling you.
I will counter in the fact that remember that your race starts at like 5:30 in the morning. And so especially...
Yeah, it's super humid.
Well, yeah, but at least So Amy says she just got back from the Villages last night and she said it got cold on Sunday. Amy also was out on some cruising recently too, and
we're supposed to have to cover plants on Wednesday night. Tomorrow night's supposed to get chilly enough that we may.
There you go. Caleb says runs Disney, run and walk at the end of the race qual. There you go. So you know what, you can definitely do it. But if you are going to do your first event, I think a Disney event is the best way to do your very first running events because again, Florida it's flat, but two. If you guys have ever done a Run Disney event, it is so well supported. You have water stations, food stations, all that kind of stuff. Amy says
food.
Yeah, actually, food like goo, things like that, supporting things
no,
like that.
I mean, like I thought you were saying they lay out a buffet because
No.
I could do like a 500-foot race to the first table where I could just hang out till the balloon ladies kick me off the course. But at least I would be full.
Yeah, Amy says she heard the water parks are closed due to the temps. They do at times. Water parks will go down, especially if it's cold weather. So I think that is definitely true right now. But in that food though, when you talk about that though, not only do they have things like goo stations or energy shots and things like that. They have a lot of water stations. There are so many people cheering around. Amy says she would run for food.
Same.
I'm going to get to the food in just a second here. That is so well supported with people cheering and everything else. At the very end, though, you get this Run Disney box of snacks and food, and ironically enough, it's the cheese. Don't ask me why. Everybody goes nuts about the cheese in the box.
Here's the thing. Like you're going into this whole thing. You spend this money, you travel, you come down to do the run, and you're worried about the box of cheese you get at the end of this run to make it all worthwhile to you.
I'm just saying it's an extra little bit.
Listen, we went to Topolino's. We're going back this weekend. Actually, we're going to Topolino's again, and it's been our special treat for ourselves. And we're going back this weekend. And I love their croissants and their breakfast things that come out before your meal at Topolino's. It's amazing. And yes, we paid triple digits to have people to get those amazing croissants. That sounds kind of like the Run Disney sales pitch you're selling.
Well, don't forget you do get a
with
nice
it.
medal. You do get a medal
The
and all that.
character meet and greets along the way. I could do it because
character
first
meet and
of
greets
all,
are
you
awesome.
Get distracted. You get I need distraction. If I'm going to run, I need distraction. So being in the parks would be distracting for me because I'd be like, oh my gosh, there's the Epcot ball. Oh my gosh, there's the castle. But being able to stop for those character meet and greets would probably save my life if I was going to do one of these events.
I'm going to be 100% honest. If I was trying to do that thing, I wouldn't see the castle. I wouldn't see anything. I would see the pavement. I'd be looking at my shoes, trying to keep them moving because I'd be ready to pass out. The tunnel vision would be creeping in. First aid would be behind me going, what is this fool doing? He has no business trying to run this.
Speaking
So
of the shoes, I almost would do Run Disney just to get my hands on some of those Brooks shoes that they release.
Yeah, there we go, Caleb. See the Baby Bell cheese. There you go.
Oh, they have Chippendale shoes they came out with this year that I just absolutely love.
Yeah, the shoes are also really, really cool. And yes, Caleb said, Baby Bell. That's right. So, but it is fun. So let me also tell you kind of a cool story this year, and this is also what it's frankly all about. So, a woman by the name of Brittany Charbonneau, and Brittany, if you're listening, I'm sorry if I butchered your last name. She was the first female finisher this year for the 2026 Walt Disney World Marathon. Now, I don't like her in this fact. She finished with a time of 2 hours, 54 minutes, and 48 seconds. Yeah. When I finished my full marathon, it was close to 7 hours. So, I mean,
Now, how many characters do you think she stopped and saw?
None, because she went to win the thing.
Runner. She doesn't sound like someone like me who's like, I'm going to go for the character. She's like there because, she runs marathons. That's good for her.
No, but here's the other thing that she did. So while she is of course the very first finisher, and finishes the race in again 2 hours 54, almost 2 hours 55 minutes. She stays around the finish line for hours. Now, again, when I said I finished my marathon, I was near the shall I say, and
You were near the ER room.
I was by the time I was there, I needed it because boy, did I have a shin splint. But that's a whole other issue. But she stayed until the very last participant crossed. Probably, again, 250, almost 4, probably close to 5 hours that she stayed there. And said that Mark Jones is at Walt Disney World right now at Disney Springs. He is at the Boathouse. Mark, bring me back something good, buddy. So Mark Jones is down at Disney right now. Mark, thanks for being with us and taking some time while you're down in Orlando. Why didn't you invite Hawk, by the way? You and Hawk could have been at the Boathouse right now.
We'll be. Oh, I can't afford that stuff. I can barely afford Topolino's. I've eaten twice in 2 months. That's it, because that's how we can afford to go to Topolino's. That's how it happens. We're probably going to the parks tomorrow night.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. But to your point, though, there was some really, really cool. The photo opportunities are unreal that are there, and they have a lot of Disney photographers. And in fact, I'm going to pull up real quick here if I can share that. This is, I think, one of the best photo ops that they have right here that they do. They have Haunted Mansion butlers, and it's just off the middle of the side of the road. And you lay down with...
That's Chuck's picture at the finish line.
Yeah, that's what I felt like towards the end. But it's just a cool. You can't get this type of photo anywhere else but during the marathon, and there are people that line up for this one, and you almost have to prioritize your photos, because if you're going to try to do some photos, you got to build up some time, because as Megan mentioned, those balloon ladies are there. And Mark says, Hawk, we're here all week, so maybe you guys can meet up here. And
Give me a private message, Mark.
Yep, we'll connect you up. And Mark also says hello to Caleb as well. So, but those balloon ladies aren't messing around. You do not want to get caught by those balloon ladies, because if
they've actually got the shovels that if you're with those guys, you're going down in the hole. That's how they're finishing you off. You don't get to get up and keep going. You're done if the balloon ladies catch up.
You are toast, because at that point then, the balloon ladies will then escort you onto the sweeper bus, and at that point you're over and done with. So, I do recommend if you're ever going to think about doing a Run Disney event, really think about doing it at Walt Disney World. It is so much fun to do. it is for me, and it was a long time. I mean, I did my dopey, and that 2025. I did the 2022 and the 2012 and 2015. Sorry, full marathons, and each time was somewhere around 6.5 hours. But it was a party. It was an absolute party. I had so much fun. I was exhausted by the end, yes, but at the same time, you understand, and you do get that kind of runner's high and all of that. I mean, it's true. There gets a point where you just kind of keep going and keep going and keep going. So kudos and hats off to everybody who is lacing up. And, the thing about it for Brittany Charbonneau and whoever she walked across the finish line with at the very end, they both got the same medal and they both finished. And that's the important part, is you finished. So, looking about doing Run Disney, I think that's, a great way to do it. So what other questions do everybody have? So if you've got other questions or have things that you want to share, be sure to put it out in the chat right now. So go ahead, Hawk.
Universal did release the Mardi Gras lineup for concerts this year, and it's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Hey, can you walk us through it real quick? Have you got it? Okay.
I can tell you. There's a couple of people. I saw Cascade, great techno dance performer, has some stuff. BB Rexa is going to be there this year. Shaggy, Bare Naked Ladies, All American Rejects are coming back.
That's cool.
A lot of really good bands.
And to the millennials, because you're reading that and I'm like, oh my gosh, other than like BB Rexa, all those things were playing when I was in high school and college.
Right.
So here we go. All right. So in February, so it kicks off February 7th. So in February, we'll have Cascade. That's Feb 7. Feb 14. This is each on the weekends. Feb 14 is Portugal the Man. Feb 15, Ivy Queen. Feb 21, Joey Fatone and AJ McLean. Feb 28 is RuPaul. And then in March...
He's DJing, by the way.
DJing, yes. DJing, correct. Yeah. DJing. In March, on March 7th, Shaggy will be there. March 13th is Tyler Hubbard. March 14th is BB Rexa. March 15th, Zed. The Bare Naked Ladies come March 21st, and it wraps all up.
They're amazing live if you've never seen them, too.
Yeah, the All American Rejects is March 28th, and I think, because it said it goes through the 4th, but I think that's the last performance is the All American Rejects. And Tom also asked, by the way, speaking of Universal, how the crowd's been at Epic. Have you had a chance to go back to Epic anytime recently, Hawk?
We have not, but my daughter and her boyfriend went to Epic for New Year's Eve and said it was moderate. It was kind of a hidden gem this year. They had a great fireworks show. I think a lot of people went to the old standards and went to, like Epcot is always slammed, probably even busier than Magic Kingdom, to be totally honest with you. It's absolutely insane. And then, but they said they put on a great show. They had a lot of fun. The crowds weren't, it was busy, but they weren't absolutely insane. And they really enjoyed themselves. So that is kind of a cool idea. I was a little envious. Jen and I considered going over, but we were on the couch by 8 p.m. and probably asleep by 8:30. So, it was not the time we were going to do that.
Well, another bit of Universal news, in addition to announcing, of course, Mardi Gras, they also announced the general dates for the whole year, and including Halloween Horror Nights. And I know some of you, Hawk, Tom, are very interested in Halloween Horror Nights, so make your plans. The first night is August the 28th this year, and then wraps up November 1st. Mark says sliders are here. Mark, did you order enough for everybody here at Mousecast, buddy? I mean, so. But Mark, thanks for joining us.
Send me a message.
Yep, thanks for joining us, Mark. So yeah, August the 28th to November 1st is Halloween Horror Nights. And, if you're interested in doing Halloween Horror Nights, you want to go ahead and start planning your trip fairly soon, because it gets popular, especially, of course, the later you get into the into the Halloween season the closer you get to Halloween itself. And we haven't seen anything new, heard anything new about what new might be coming yet to Halloween Horror Nights. It is, I believe, the 35th anniversary of Halloween Horror Nights this year. So I would not be surprised if Universal pulls out something new and does something interesting and exciting over at Halloween Horror Nights. So, Hawk, you said you've been to the parks recently. Anything new that you really kind of noticed as far as the parks? And of course, we mentioned this over at 2025 in last week's show that 2025 really is the year of construction, and all those construction walls that are up right now, and some of them will wrap up in 2026 with some of the events opening up. So. Let's see here. Caleb says, are any of us planning to go to Disney, the Ultimate Fan event in Anaheim? I tell you, I would love to go to D23. Kind of sad news this year about D23. They are not doing the floor, the vendor floor this time. So we're not sure what that means. Obviously, it's going to make a lot more space for some other not attractions, but other features and exhibits, I guess. But they're not going to do any of the vendors this year, which is kind of surprising because that vendor floor got to be pretty popular as well. So unfortunately, I am not probably going to make it to D23. It's tough for me to do so because it's in August, and that's a time that's kind of tough for me to get out because of work-related issues. But any of you guys thinking about going to D23, or any of the folks that are watching right now interested in going to D23 at all?
Not us. I'm supposed to be headed back to Disney World in August, so
Well,
Disney,
there you go.
D23, no.
Yeah. So, but it's a fun time. D23 is pretty interesting and pretty amazing. I will be interested to see what they decide to announce at D23. And obviously, that goes back to what's the update on Villains Land. That's kind of number one.
I did want to share with you that you said you can't do those pictures or pictures like that. And I understand it's with the characters, but I just want to point out you actually can do pictures like that if you share that for me. Now, here's the caution I will make with you. When you get out after a rainstorm and you lay down to take a picture of exhaustion, do make sure there's not a puddle there that looks like you urinated yourself while you're show your exhaustion. Because apparently I had some bladder control issues that day. It was just a passing rain shower in reality, but that picture got some laughs for a minute because we were smoked after a day at Animal Kingdom. So you can still get those pictures.
We'll pretend that's true, and Tom gets a big laugh out of that, and so does Amy as well. So yeah, kind of interesting there. Yeah, you can do, but being with the characters is kind of the interesting thing, and also you also have seen some. It was a great opportunity. I don't have the photo in front of me to share real quick, but great meetings with Jack Sparrow. Great meetings with some other characters that you just don't see out and about usually. And again, just meeting up with a bunch of different people. It's such a good time to be out there. And if you happen to be with an organization and running for a particular cause, I was running for as part of our friends over at WDW Radio and running for the WDW Radio Dream Team, supporting Make-A-Wish, which makes it just doubly special. So a lot of fun that's going on. So Hawk, what are you looking forward to in 2026? At our previous show we talked a little bit about some of the stuff that's happening in 2026 and coming up and getting ready to open, including Muppets, Big Thunder, Buzz Lightyear. A whole lot of things are getting ready to open up.
This is so weird to say because there's actually just a lot of strange truth to it, but nothing.
Really?
There is nothing that I'm like, woo, I can't wait for this. We have reached a point where and I think part of this is truly because we're a little spoiled with the fact we can go over when we want to, and we're 45 minutes away. But when I started my passion for Disney, I mean, if there was a new ride, I was booking a flight to try to be one of the first people to ride it. If there was a new experience, I was trying to be down there and do it as soon as I could. And it was strange that after I moved here and had the opportunity to be one of the first people, I became less and less interested in being one of the first people. I just kind of, we still have not done the villain show. We have still not done Finding the new Little Mermaid show. We have still not done this. There's a handful of things Jen and I have still not done in this area that are new experiences. There's 2 new rides that have been at SeaWorld for, the Penguin Trek thing has been there for like almost a year now, if not over. We still haven't ridden it because we walked by and it's got a 60-minute wait. And we're like, I don't want to wait 60 minutes for it. So, we've kind of reached a point. There's things I'm excited about and I like the ideas of, but the need to go in there and be the first to do it. I mean, Jen and I just really love to go to the parks and walk around. And, we get more of a kick out of seeing little kids experience things for the first time. We get more of a kick of just being able to make a cast member's day or night, giving them a thank you card or showing some appreciation or taking goofy photos, like doing all the things that we do in the parks. We have a lot more fun with that. So when it comes to actually looking forward to something, there's really nothing that like I'm super excited for the opportunity to go experience. We just love the parks in general.
And that's kind of a blessing of being in Florida, where when you're not down there all the time, the tendency and the lure is to run and gun. And when you have the ability to slow down, which frankly I think you probably have more appreciation of the parks because you can slow down. Caleb, by the way, says that he's looking forward to hopefully going to the D23 Expo for the first time and also going to Disneyland for the first time. Caleb, you're going to absolutely love Disneyland.
Yeah,
every Walt Disney World person needs to go to Disneyland. You will be astounded at how different the 2 resorts really are. That Walt Disney World and Disneyland, while Disneyland and the Magic Kingdom both have some similar attractions there, the way that the ambiance and the way it feels, totally different. Totally different. And be sure, on behalf of all of us here at Mousecast, when you walk in under the train tracks and you walk into Main Street and you're there in Town Square, look to the left and you'll see the fire station and you'll see the light on in the window. Say hi to Walt for all of us. That's the spirit of Walt Disney right there. And it's my tradition that you walk in and you say hi to Walt, and as you leave you say goodnight to Walt. So be sure to definitely do that.
And make sure that someone is there to document when you see Sleeping Beauty's castle for the first time and your response is, that's it?
Yeah, you get a little bit. It's a little different. You got to remember, it's a little different.
See, that is actually so true too, because like that, the height requirements that they were under in that building for the skyline were crazy. And when you look back on it, we laugh at that every time because it really is like, you're like, oh look, it's a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, Tom says, after several times at Walt Disney World, I appreciated Disneyland more. It was just so special being at the original park that started it all. And Tom, you couldn't sum it up any better than that. Disneyland is intimate, and this is where I was getting ready to talk about as well. And there was not near as much walking, Tom says, and that's exactly it. Disneyland is condensed and tight and intimate, where Walt Disney World is spacious and there's breadth. And both are wonderful. Both are great. But you are correct. There's not a lot of walking, or near as much walking at Disneyland / Disney's California Adventure as you do in the parks at Walt Disney World. So, Megan, the last time you were actually at Disneyland just a little while ago, weren't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. I love Disneyland for 2 to 3 days. I currently am hoping to actually make our trip in August, and it's going to be 6 days, and it will not be enough. But Disneyland, and I appreciate that about Disneyland. At the beginning, when I first started going, it frustrated me that I was like, oh no, like I should want to be here longer. But that's one of its charms, is that it's not Disney World. You don't need to be there for a week to experience all the things. The frustration that I have, and that I know all of us at some points have felt about Disney World, is that we spend a week and we spend all the time, and you go start to finish, open to close, all the things, and you can't do it all. I've been going there for 30 years and I can't do it all. But at Disneyland, you can run and gun it and get everything done and then slow down and enjoy it, or you can just enjoy the entire trip. And it is a much slower, it's a slower pace, and it's in a good way. You're not bored. It's very charming. Disneyland is charming, and you can't say that about Disney World. Disney World is breathtaking. And
yeah, I mean, and that is it. I mean, that's the Disneyland is it's that charm, it's that intimacy. Until you go there, you can't appreciate when I say you truly feel Walt's footsteps. When you walk down Main Street there, you feel Walt's footsteps. You actually can tell that this is where it all started. So definitely, if you can, go to Disneyland. And here's the thing: where at Walt Disney World, staying on property is almost a must. At Disneyland, I actually think, sorry to say this, I think that the Harbor Boulevard resorts may be better than staying at the Disneyland Hotel. Or I mean, look, if I had the opportunity to stay at the Grand Californian, yeah, I'm gonna stay at the Grand Californian. If somebody else is paying for it.
I've stayed at the Californian, and I stayed at what used to be Paradise Pier, or whatever it was.
Pixar Pier now, but yeah.
Place now.
Yeah, Pixar Place.
But the hotel that it was, and being able to sit in your room, look out the window, and watch World of Color from your hotel room on the 7th or 8th floor, like we were up there a little bit, was just astounding. That was one of the coolest things. I mean, we wound up, we said we were going to go down and watch it one night, and then watch it from the room one night. I think we watched it from the room 3 or 4 nights, and didn't even go see the fireworks in over the castle. So I've actually never seen that. I've been to Disneyland twice, and we never.
Well, you got to keep in mind that the fireworks are not every night at Disneyland. They're only, I think, weekends. Yeah, I think it's mostly weekends. Maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I have to remember.
And they're just not as good. I was, as a Disney World regular, I was underwhelmed. I've seen the Disneyland fireworks once, and I'm good. Now, they got Paint the Night. World of Color is definitely worth the multiple.
World of Color is worth it. Go to see World of Color.
I've been playing that music a bunch this last week.
And for the people that question like the value of the dessert party with the better view, we did the World of Color one. You sit in director's chairs. I mean, really nice. It was like we were at high top director's chairs at a high top, like pub style table, by ourselves in a little section, nobody in front of us. It was, that was absolutely incredible. We loved it.
That's the only dessert party I've actually ever done. I've never made it. We've booked the Magic Kingdom fireworks dessert party twice, and because we've got little kids, we just never made it that late, and so we always canceled. But my friends and I went back in July to World of Color, and I 100% would do the dessert party again. Such a great experience.
So I highly recommend, because also you think about for a dessert party for like the fireworks. The fireworks show 10, 12 minutes, somewhere in there. World of Color's long. And if you're at World of Color, not only are you standing for the show itself, because it's something like 20 some minutes longer, thereabouts maybe, but then you're also standing for the hour or whatever beforehand to get a decent view. So think about all that standing that you're not doing. I mean, that dessert party for World of Color is worth every penny of it. So, Caleb, when you're heading out there, check it out. It might be worth looking at that World of Color dessert party. You might appreciate that.
It was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it. And you were speaking about traditions earlier, and like one of the things Tegan and I always loved to do was try to find random traditions when she was young that we could do on every trip. And like silly stuff, like get a photo pass picture with a total stranger. Like we'd like grab someone behind us and be like, hey, can you jump in and take a picture with us? Or if we ever saw, like, sometimes you'll see a family and they have like the boyfriend or the person and they're trying to get their family photos, and the first group of them, they don't have the boyfriend or the other person in because they're not quite family yet, but made the trip. But they know that if it doesn't pan out, like, we don't want you in the family photos. So, we're going to have you stand aside. We used to try to like find random people. And we had the opportunity to meet some people one time. We met this young couple from California, and it was their first time at Disney World. They had never been to Animal Kingdom, and they rope dropped with us, and they were flying home that day, and they said, we know we're not going to be able to do much. And I said, you can do everything in this park in 2 hours if you rope drop right. And they were standing behind us, and I said, stay with us, and like, we'll show you. And they did. They actually stayed with us the whole day. We got everything in Animal Kingdom done in less than 2 hours, and all the major rides they wanted to do. And we rope dropped Flight of Passage, got that done first, did the safari, did Expedition Everest, did Dinosaur, did all the stuff. And they were thrilled. We had the best time. But we wound up like literally taking pictures with these guys throughout the parks. And it was hilarious. They wound up in our memory book. We swapped numbers. We wound up, still to this day, we send each other Christmas cards. They have a family now. They've had a young child. They got their pet dog. They bought their first house. And she will send us, to this day, she sends us a little trinket from Disneyland almost every year out with her Christmas card just to say, hey, thanks. Tegan called her husband Uncle Callie, and but we absolutely had the best time. And little things like that are, if you're excited about something in a park, some of those random memories wind up being the biggest, best experience of your entire trip. Maybe it's connecting with a cast member. Maybe it's, it could be anything, but having the opportunity to spend time, make a new memory that's unexpected, not the reservation, not the ride you went to do, doing something totally out of expectation, just makes for such an amazing and incredible memory. It's just such a cool thing. And we really, really enjoy doing that stuff. So I challenge you, if you find yourself in a weird situation, there's someone standing there awkwardly next to you, say, hey, if your family doesn't want a picture with you, take a picture with our family. And we've done it, and we've made some great friends and made great memories.
Absolutely. That's I think part of the benefit of the standby line. It gives you the opportunity. You never know who you're going to meet and who you're going to talk to. Some of these people you may not ever see again, may never talk to them. It's just you have a pleasant, however many minutes that you guys are chit-chatting, talking. But you never know the friends you're going to meet and the people you're going to interact with, especially also cast members. And here, Steve Valkenburg, if you happen to be watching at some point or listening to the show, a shout out to you who was over at the Plaza restaurant at Disneyland and helped me find Walt Disney's actual table at the Plaza. It was all due to Steve Valkenburg, now a retired cast member over at Disneyland. So Caleb, by the way, says that he's hoping they bring back the original World of Color that happened back in 2010. It was a great show then. The one thing I like about World of Color is that it does evolve, and it does kind of help bring things in. And my favorite version was when Neil Patrick Harris actually did some of the hosting of that as well. It's a really, really cool version if you happen to come across that and find that.
I love the current version. I've seen 3 different iterations of it now, I think. I love Happiness. First of all, they start with Rainbow Connection, so you're in tears within like 15 seconds of it starting, which is great. Great way to start the show. And it is hysterically funny, and it's got some great music in it. The one now is just fantastic. Oh, these are your people.
This is Uncle Callie, and this was the morning we spent, and We ran and did as many rides as we could, but at the same time, we stopped and took PhotoPass pictures everywhere. And this was one of my favorites. The photographer was like, "How do you guys know each other?" And we're like, "We don't." And he was just like, "Are you kidding me?" And, and they were like, they're like, "Do you mind holding up her?" And we're like, "Yeah, we'll hold her up. Let's go." So I'm like, "Tegan, you up?" And she's like, "Let's do it." And jumped up and took a picture. But that's a great memory. And that, it's the random things, it's the random moments, and it's just Disney creates an ability. Like, Chuck, you're a seasoned Disney person. Megan, you're a seasoned Disney person. For those that have been several times, like, you almost can't help yourself when you see someone there doing something stupid that you're like, wow, you were costing yourself so much time.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you how to save time. Let me tell you how to be more effective. When you see the meltdowns, what's going on? What's that? How can I help you? Like, can I make a difference for you? Can I give you a hint? And you start sharing some of those tips and pointers, and all of a sudden people are like, "Hey, I really appreciate your help. That saved me time, or that made a difference in my day." We had the opportunity to ride Hagrid's a couple of days ago with 5 young people from Germany that literally had driven up from Miami to do one day there. And we just had so much fun talking to them in line. And I got a pair of Meta glasses for Christmas, so I was recording the ride on Hagrid's. He's got his phone out behind me, recording me, he's like, I got great video of you on that ride. He's and I said to him, I said, did you get the photo pass today? Did you get the, My Universal Photos so you can have your ride photos? And he said, no. And I said, I have it. Let's go to the thing and I'll send them to you. So one of the girls gave me her WhatsApp. I downloaded the photos. I sent them back to him. Just little things we can do as seasoned theme park enthusiasts that make a difference for other people, make their experience better, and then they might want to come back. It's the magic that used to happen in Disney is less and less now because people have taken advantage of it. But you still truly can kind of create your own, not as a Disney employee, but yet as a guest, and help people really enjoy the parks and be the difference, be that light. Don't be the aggravated person, getting ticked off because somebody slices in front of you. I don't care, whatever. You try to do it with a family 18, we're going to have words, but, you do it with 1 or 2 people. I'm okay with that.
Well, and that's again where Run Disney comes back into it as well. That I have, and I was trying to pull it up here for a second, but I just couldn't come across it. So there was some folks that we had met. Lori Burke, I'm talking about you now, where she was actually kind of struggling and this was the half marathon in 2010, I guess. And as a joke, her and another friend of ours, we were all together, and we kind of had sort of met, picked her up and literally carried her across the finish line because her leg was really her knee was really starting to hurt her. It's the funniest photo ever. And, it actually became something that we really, really appreciated. So, all of that as we kind of wrap up tonight is that whole piece of, a trip to Disney is not just about the attractions and all of that. It's about the people. It's about talking to cast members. It's about talking to other guests. It's about, being together and enjoying and meeting new people and, making memories, and you never know what kind of friendships you might make as well. And so we hope that you have enjoyed Open Mic tonight. A reminder that we do this every Tuesday night. We are live every Tuesday night here on Mousecast, and so we hope that you will come join us. Coming up next week is Matt's Musings. Matt will be with us and will be able to showcase some of whatever ideas that he has got in mind. And so we encourage you to join us. We're live every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on Facebook, right here on YouTube. So on behalf of Megan and Hawk, I want to thank everybody for being with us. Thank you to Caleb, to Tom, to Amy. Welcome to Mousecast. Glad you could be with us. Mark as well. So we hope that you will join us next Tuesday night for Matt's Musings. And then don't forget, game night coming up, 4th Tuesday of the month. This is Mousecast, the podcast where the mind meets the magic. And so until next time, we'll see you.
Thank you for listening to Mousecast. We appreciate the time you share with us. And tonight was a very fun show. And joining us is a must. This is where the mind meets the magic. We dive a little deeper every time. Theme parks, cruise ships, and travel. If you don't listen, maybe now it's time.